you that I have a step process. I had to speed up this step process because it's 6 weeks to get to know somebody. Now, outside of this, no, I'm not pressing buttons intentionally. You can't do that in today's world. There's no testing in today's world. Like there's everybody's cutoff game, block game strong, cutoff game strong. Like it's you have that in the world. So you have to build that process, like associates, friends, dating, relationship, marriage. Everything has to bridge. I have to be your friend. I have to get to know you. I'm not pressing buttons, getting to know you. Nobody wants to be around that. So the reason why I keep going back to the show, and I said that because I'm just thinking logic that we're talking about the show. But if you're talking about outside of the show and getting to know somebody, no, I'm not deliberately testing them and wanting that reaction. No, I'm not. I'm not doing that. But in the process, you have to speed it up, and it has to be on crack. So with me being intellectual or however in the conversation, it's like, oh, okay, let me see how you could rock. Because again, I'm going into the situation with I'm trying to find love. So I need to, and it's certain traits that I can deal with, and certain traits I can't deal with it. But I don't mind dealing with it with my person at the same time, and I can articulate that in the manner of like you don't have to assume for me. I can tell you what it is. So with this conversation, and it's man to man right here. So that's why I said when you start to break down to me your perspective, and then you're trying to connect what I said before. So it's two different areas that we're speaking about because you're harping in on the real life, and I'm harping in on the show. So if we're talking about real life, no, I'm not testing somebody in real life. I'm talking about the show when I start to speak. Nobody,
So you wasn't being
nobody
real on the
cared
show.
who I am. Nobody cares who I am. Period.
So
But
you
only
wasn't being
reason
real
why is
on the
because of the
show.
show. So I was being
So you
no, I was being absolutely real, but I had to speed up how I maneuver. That was the reason why I could be chill in regular real life. You have to make a connection with somebody and press forward in the show. So you have to what you do in the real world. You have to take it to the show and it gets magnified 10 million.
but was you in augmented reality when you was on the show, or was you in real life?
It was argument in the show. It was
But
not
no,
an
but
argument. It wasn't an argument over the
it's
phone because and again we had the conversation and she
mhm.
apologized over the phone. That was it. It was done. We got to the date and production wanted me to bring it back up. And I'm like, oh my God. So brought it up. It hits that energy. So it's just like, oh, okay. Now, because again, when and I'm just gonna use not an analogy here, but it's like when you give a woman too much time to have left in her own thoughts, she'll rethink herself back into that problem and be like, "No, why did I apologize?" Everybody would think that's choked, inspected, sexual. Obviously, they forget what you had already told them, and now they're back mad. And then you add on them trying to now they're justifying it. So now they're calling the sister, they're calling the brother. Hey, isn't this sexual? Isn't this sexual? That of course it is. We it actually got to that. We was calling people, and somebody was like, I called somebody, and they was like, "No, I wouldn't have took that sexual." They took it in a different route. So that's why I was just like, look, and I didn't want to do that. She wanted to do that. So again, I wanted to dead it. Like it was like, all right, you have how you feel, cool.